Welcome to the show. A warm welcome to each and every one of you out there in YouTube land, and welcome to my show. Welcome, and I'm loving every week, and it's been a fabulous journey. Only 7 weeks to go now till New York Marathon. I'd like to thank each and every one of you who watches each and every week and enjoy the fun, the frolics, and a bit of Ballroom Blitz. Ballroom Blitz. Oh yeah. As they often said, one bard said that if music be the food of love, play on. Yes, so let's enjoy that food. Especially bananas, yeah? Thank you for that. But moving swiftly on, a big thank you to each and everyone who commented on last week's show, and the feedback on there was wonderful. Yeah, it all fitted in, and it's just great. And as I said, I'll be getting onto the topic a bit later about gels and nutrition, which is one of the big topics. But as I often say each and every week, and this is my disclaimer, yeah, so I'm not here as a specialist or an advisor or giving you any advice or guidance or anything like that. I'm just here to talk about my own experiences, which you may relate to, you may not relate to. But I talk about what I do and what I've done. And if that helps people in any way, then fantastic. Great. That you might remember a few weeks back, I talked about that now we saw, and it was fantastic, by the way, to see Mo Farah in Zurich the other week win his final race, which was fantastic. It's great to see him do that. And obviously, Mo does his Mobot. Yeah. Ooh. And it's fabulous to hear that he's announced that his first marathon, he's going to be joining me at London next year in April. Yeah, can you see me and Mo, going head to head there? I don't think so. He'll be flying off into the sunset. And fantastic news that he'll be running London as his first marathon. And so it's going to be great seeing him there. So yeah, the Mobot. Usain Bolt has now moved on. That was the Bolt. And I made a suggestion. What about the Guru? And Rich came back with one of the suggestions. He came back with a suggestion. I think the pose was a bit like this. It was a... ooh. Can you see that? No. Yeah, camera shot's a bit out, but I was thinking more along the lines of the doing the Guru. Yeah, something nice and simple. Or something along those lines. But hey, you gotta have a bit of a laugh, haven't you, eh? Yeah, keep the suggestions coming in, and I do love the suggestions. It's great interaction here on this channel, so I really love it, really appreciate it. And with this type of feedback, I did like the feedback also about the coconut juice, which that reminds me, I forgot my coconut juice. Ooh. A nice bit of coconut juice. In fact, having had that coconut, I feel like I'm in the mood for dancing. I'm in the mood for dancing, romancing. Ooh, I'm giving it all tonight. I'm in the mood for dancing. I feel like dancing. Ooh. Oh yes, you can't beat a good bit of dancing. And obviously now we have, here in the UK, BBC has Strictly, which I do love a bit of dancing. So yeah, let's have a good... But yeah, moving on to our topic about nutrition and these wonderful babies, gels, yeah? Now, as I said, I gave that disclaimer. I'm not here giving any advice. I'm just giving you feedback of how things have worked for me and how things have panned out. And also, I just put out some random questions, quiz, feedback without knowing that I would get a massive response on from various people, all talking about, all I asked for is, I asked some feedback, are gels, these types of gels, essential for running? And most of the feedback was, it was mixed, but I would say predominantly the feedback was along, and obviously it depends who gives the feedback, whether they're a beginner or a novice or expert. But the main feedback was that people don't need it. And there are some people, someone did say, I'll try running a marathon with gels and then running one without one, which is a fair point. And but most people, I'd say at least up to 30k, 32k, don't need any gels. Now, the other weekend, as part of my training for New York Marathon, I went out. It was 21 miles, and over the Lickey Hills. So it's very hilly, massive elevations up and down. I can't remember the exact number, but it's well over 1,000 feet of elevation. So pretty tough route. And it was my usual early morning, Sunday morning run. And I didn't take any water, no gels, no nutrition, no nothing, just went out and run. Now that's me now, having been doing some intensive training. And as I've said, I think on previous shows, is it takes time to train your body to burn certain stores of energy. So the body can keep going. And obviously when you have endurance runners, these people who run for 50 miles, 100 miles, they have trained their body to burn fat in a very efficient way. So energy gels, this time last year, I was knocking them back like there's no tomorrow. If I go on a long run, I think after a certain point, you know, I was feeling pretty weak and low energy, whether that was psychological, which was another feedback that I had from people. Some people say what's the word? It helps psychologically to think that they're doing well. Some of the other feedback I had from people is that they train without gels, but when they come to race days, they take the gels, and it's a bit like a turbo boost or an energy boost, and so it's a bit like being turbocharged and boom, off. But I think the key feedback is try and do what works for you. And I've mentioned it a number of times, like I harp on about the 3-hour rule. Whatever level you are, you shouldn't go for a training run beyond 3 hours. I'll talk about the 16-week training plan for marathons, or the 16-year training plan for marathons. So when you see a lot of the experts, you know, elite runners, they've been running for many, many years. I can guarantee you right now, the key thing that, and I think Mo Farah said it himself, he's going to be learning, making mistakes. He has to find out for himself what works in terms of nutrition to run the 26.2 miles at a certain pace to try and win a race. So it's working out your pace strategy, working out your nutrition strategy, and see what works for you. If you're a beginner, I've seen people with these on some half marathons. I've seen them like with a Batman utility belt with literally dozens and dozens of these gels. Yeah, if it works for them, great. But I think sometimes you can a bit overdo it with it and take too many. The body can only take on so much energy at a particular time, and hopefully you've found that useful. I certainly found it useful because, as I say, this time last year I could barely do any of the long runs without the assistance of gels to get me around. But again, was that psychological? I don't know. I've now trained myself and I have the confidence and ability to keep going and going. So let's see how it works out. So that's the summary on the gels. I'd love to have your feedback on the comments below. What are your views? What's your experiences with gels, nutrition? How long do you keep going? And it's great to see that Andy, Forester Dean runner, went out on a long run and he took nothing. I saw his post on the social meds, and he ran, I can't remember, it was 15, 17 miles. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, but 15, 17 miles. No water, no gels, he just ran, I think. So if you have the patience, work with it and persist with it, then great, it's worked for me. And as I say, just do what works for you. And I'd love your feedback and see how you've progressed from beginner to novice, expert. As I say, leave the comments. And that's it for this week's show. I've really enjoyed talking to you guys. Hopefully you found it useful, entertaining. And as I say, I always like to entertain. So next week, I'll be talking about some types of running training that I've been doing, which I find really useful for endurance training. And I'll share some of my experiences and knowledge on that. And oh, let's have a little drink. Oh, that feels really good. Having this coconut brings memories of summer. Obviously now we're into September. Summer has finished. You know, the summer is over. We're into autumn. And I can almost hear that song. the summer of love. So yes, thank you so much for watching. That's it. The show is over. Thank you so much. Give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. If you did enjoy it, find it useful, please do share it amongst your friends on the social meds, across your Facebooks and your Twitters and Instagrams, and wherever you feel it's of benefit. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Oh, did I forget to mention, I've got a half marathon race this weekend, so I'm very much looking forward to that, see how the legs stretch out, and I'll give you an update next week. I think next week I'm back in Switzerland, and I'll give you an update from there. So from me to you, thank you, and see you next